Right, my loves, grab yourself a herbal tea. I've got mine, which is still absolutely steaming, so I'm not going to take a drink of that just yet in case I burn my mouth. It's the Digest Twinings green tea. Really like it. Anyway, I'm going to be answering some of your guys' assumptions. I have done this type of video quite a while ago, and I thought we could just have a little update because I want to know what you guys are thinking, what like assumptions you're making about me. And I just always think it's interesting because I watch people online, and I mean, we all make assumptions, don't we, about people and what we think, like how we think they live their lives or what they might be doing off camera, or you know, and quite often we're wrong. So I thought that I would ask you guys what your assumptions are about me, and I'll let you know if they're correct or if they're wrong. And yeah, this should be interesting. I did pop it on my Instagram story a little while ago. Yeah, I thought we could have like a cozy, chilled evening in. As you guys know, Emmanuel is currently on night shift, so it's a lot easier for me to film in the evenings, just so that I don't disturb him as much whilst he's sleeping kind of after his night shift. So yeah, I thought this would be a nice little cozy one for me to do in my new pajamas. By the way, I did get these for Valentine's Day from Emmanuel. We had a little pajama exchange for our Valentine's Day this year, which was cute. He definitely won because these are the cutest pajamas I think I've ever owned. Yeah, and they're from Bow Avenue as well, if in case you're interested, because when I did post them on Instagram, people were incredibly intrigued as to where they were from. Anyway, let's crack on with this video because I did have a little sneaky peek at some of the questions and I thought, oh, those are interesting ones. So let's spill the beans or do some corrections. The first one is, you and Emmanuel met on a dating site. Now this assumption is correct because we did meet on a dating site. We actually met on Hinge. Now, I don't know if you guys can remember when me and Demi went to Istanbul in Turkey. Demi got a PR trip, which I was kind of like her +1 to. And we went on that trip, and on the way home, so we flew back into London and then got the train from London up to Newcastle, and I was so bored and I was so anti-dating app and so anti-meeting any men. But I downloaded Hinge. That's when we matched. So yeah, and from there, well, the rest is history. I'm sat here with a blooming engagement ring on. But yeah, we did meet on a dating site, and I honestly think it's one of those things where I was getting to a point where I wasn't bothered about meeting a man. If it happened, it happened, and obviously it did happen. But how difficult is it to meet authentically person to person these days? Especially when I'm such a homebody. Like, I don't go anywhere, really. I think quite often men are sometimes a little bit intimidated to approach women as well. So, you know, I think it's getting more and more difficult for people to meet in person unless it's at kind of like an organised event or it's like a family and friends kind of gathering. I don't know. But yeah, we met on Hinge and the rest is history. Next question. You wouldn't be friends with Demi if it wasn't because you had the same job. Now, at first I was like, oh, this is a bit of a spicy one. But actually, I've read a little bit more into it. And I think what this person is saying, that we probably wouldn't have met if we didn't both do social media. And actually that is probably true because me and Demi actually met on it was like a opening evening or something. It was a PR event that we met at a club in town, and she came over and complimented me on my dress, and I was like, thank you. And then from there, I don't remember who messaged who first. I might have followed her on Instagram and then messaged her saying, oh, it was so nice to meet you and blah, 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 just because we seemed to get on really well. And then she asked me if I wanted to go for a coffee, and yeah, we're now good friends now. And I feel like me and Demi are those types of friends that we met and we hung out loads in the very beginning. It was like every week we saw each other. And then just as the time's gone on, we've become that kind of friendship, which I love, where you don't actually need to see each other every single week. But when you do meet up, it's like there's never been any time in between. So yeah, I really like the friendship that me and Demi have. It's just, yeah, it's lovely. But in terms of whether we'd be friends if it wasn't that we had the same job, I don't know. Like, I think if we had met kind of on a night out, I think we'd still be friends. I think it's just the fact that we actually did meet on a work event that we became friends that way. But I think if it had just been like a generic night out or whatever, then I still think that we probably would have made friends. I don't know. I think that's yeah, okay, this one. You're actually very shy in real life. Now, this one I think is true to some extent. It's really hard to kind of answer this one because I feel like I am quite a shy person in some circumstances, but then in others I'm absolutely not. And I think it depends on who I'm with and who I'm around. I'm trying to think of an example. I think if I was like completely on my own and going into a large group of people, then I go mute. I really do. I go so silent. If I've never met or I've never like talked to anyone before, I go really, really quiet, and I am very, very kind of shy, and I think that's almost kind of an anxiety thing maybe. But if I'm with like at least one person who I've known who I know before or have talked to before, then I could, yeah, I talk for England. But I think it's very, I don't know, it depends on the circumstances, but I can be very, very shy and very kind of in on myself and just like sit in utter silence. But then other times I'm really outgoing and like talk to everyone, and I don't know, I think it depends on how I'm feeling on the day and what the situation is, what the kind of surroundings are, etc. But yeah, I think I can be quite shy, yeah. This one was a deep one because I had to really kind of think about whether to answer this one, because I know that it can maybe be a struggle for other people as well. Okay, so this one is, you struggle with body dysmorphia and don't realise how much weight you've lost. Now, I think I have briefly touched on this in the past, where I've got a little bit upset about how I was feeling in my own body and how it's not kind of how I thought it would be once I've lost this amount of weight. But just for a little kind of backstory, I have been at this weight before. When I was at my Slimming World days, I want to say early 2020. I was at this same weight. I felt great about myself. I felt, you know, the best I'd ever been. I left Slimming World thinking I'll just do it again at home and blah, blah, blah. And then, I mean, I don't need to tell you guys, a lot happened in my life in 2020 and onwards. And not just COVID, but obviously the struggles with my job. My dad had a heart attack. I'd found out that 2 of my friends had died. It was a very, very stressful year for me, 2020, and that kind of led to me kind of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, and having a very, very toxic relationship with food. When I was at my absolute highest weight, that is when I think I was my most body confident, which is the bizarre thing about it, because you think that when you weigh more that you wouldn't be as confident, but I think I was way more confident at a higher weight than I am now. I think I do have a little bit of body dysmorphia. I don't know if that's something that needs diagnosed or not. I don't think it is. I think it's just is it a state of mind? I don't know. I feel like I had body dysmorphia when I was at my highest weight because I thought that I was slimmer than I was. That to me is a strange concept, because I've only ever known or heard of cases where people have body dysmorphia when they're smaller and they think they're bigger. But I think very much for me, it was when I was at my biggest, I felt as if I was the size that I am now, if that makes sense. So I think being at my weight now and how my body looks, I think this is where I'm kind of struggling a little bit with my body image and self-confidence, because I don't feel any different and I feel like I still look the exact same, even though I know I don't. When you put photos side by side, you can tell there is a huge difference. I mean, there's 4.5 stone difference now. The way that I feel within myself and my self-confidence isn't as I thought it would be, because I'm trying to describe it. Because when I was at my highest weight, I felt like I looked like I do right now, which I obviously didn't actually look like that. I was bigger. But now that I'm actually at this weight and at this size, I don't feel any different, because I feel the same as when I was 4.5 stone heavier. So in terms of the question, or the assumption should I say, is this struggle with body dysmorphia and don't realise how much weight you've lost, I think part of that is true. I think I do know how much weight I've lost because I can see it on the scales. I can see the number going down. However, in terms of the body dysmorphia, I think, yes, I think I do struggle with that a little bit, because it doesn't seem, although the number's going down, it doesn't feel in my brain like I look any different. So yeah, I guess. The next one, your family don't really like to be on camera. Partially, I think yes. So I've never really sat down and had a conversation with them about whether they want to be in videos or whatever. I don't think they mind being kind of in the background or being kind of included in videos, but I think when it comes to what I'll compare it to is how Demi sits down with some of her family, with her nana, with her mum and things like that, and they play quite active parts in her channel. That's just Billy knocking things off the kitchen bench as usual. I don't know whether my family would be up for that or not, to be honest. I don't know. But I don't think they mind kind of being in the background, non-verbal roles as it were. But then at the same time I've also got to be conscious of the fact that my sister is a teacher as well, so her social media presence is very minimum, and I think I would never want to kind of jeopardize her role and her career and stuff over like a YouTube video. So again, I think Catherine doesn't mind being part of like in the background of videos and stuff like that, but I don't think she could kind of actively participate in being on my channel, if that makes sense. You wouldn't be friends with someone who didn't work in social media. I find this one so funny because I think I have more friends that don't work in social media than I do that do work in social media, if that makes sense. Like I know people who work in social media, but I think my closest friends, apart from Demi, I think that's it. Like Demi's the only person who I'm kind of close friends with who works in social media. All my other friends just work regular jobs, like normal jobs. So yeah, I would say that wasn't true, that one. I don't know if actually, just looking at that now, I'm wondering whether it means whether I wouldn't be friends with somebody who followed me. I don't know. Maybe I've probably read that wrong. But yeah, I've got more friends that don't work in social media than I do that do work in social media. Okay, you want a dog in the future. Very light-hearted one. You want a dog in the future. Do you know, I feel like when I was growing up and when I was like a teenager, one of my goals and aims in life was to have a dog. I was convinced that when I moved out of the family home and I wasn't renting, as soon as I bought my own house, I was getting a dog. I was getting a dog. When that reality hit that I bought this house, and I was still working as a nursing assistant, I just knew that I couldn't have a dog really because I couldn't look after it properly because I was working long shifts, like 6 days a week, so it wasn't really an option for me at that time. And then what are you doing? You're not gonna break another one. Sorry. Speaking of pets and me talking about to talk about how cats are way more low maintenance than dogs, as I've just caught him trying to push another glass bottle. We've got these little glass bottles that we put water in, put in the fridge, and he's smashed 3 of them so far from just knocking them off the bench. You'd think that we'd learn not to put them there, but apparently not. Anyway, so yeah, so I had a cat called Mario who I got in 2018 or 2019, I think. 2018 or 2017, I don't know. I got him around that time. Unfortunately, he did pass away, he got run over. But I think I did realise that I think I was more of a cat person than a dog person, which was like incredibly, which was a big surprise for me because I've always been a dog person and always said that I was going to be a dog person. But now I wouldn't change it, even though he's looking at me with... His pupils are like spaceships. I wouldn't change it, and I think... Are you gonna have your zoomies? Let me clean your eyes. There you go. Are we gonna calm down? But I wouldn't change it for the world. I think when I was looking at cat breeds, because Mario was a ragdoll and obviously Billy's a Bengal, when I was researching cat breeds and things, I do have to have a hyperallergenic breed, which is something to do with their undercoats because I am allergic to cats, funnily enough. But Bengals, I think British Shorthairs, more kind of the pedigree breeds, are hyperallergenic because of something to do with their undercoats. I don't know. So I was looking at that, and then I was also very determined to have a breed of cat that had a big personality. And as you guys are aware, I mean, Billy's behind the camera right now, probably gonna push you guys over in a second. But as you guys know, Billy has got a huge personality. He's a complete chatterbox. He's got the wildest of zoomies. He's just great. And it's almost like having a cat which has the personality of a dog. It's very strange, but great at the same time. I don't think we would get a dog in the future. Never say never, but I don't think dogs are on the cards for us. Emmanuel did have a dog growing up. I don't think he wants another dog, so we'll see, but I don't think dogs are on the cards for us in the future. Maybe more cats though. We'll see if I can convince Emmanuel. Okay, this will be the last one because I feel like I get this question quite a lot and I don't know how to address it properly because I don't want to offend anyone and I don't want to, I don't know. But the question is, you're using Ozempic or sick of people asking? Now, there was actually three different people asked if I was using various weight loss medications, either Ozempic, is it Mounjaro, or GLP something. And I get that question quite a lot. I think because I've started actually talking a little bit more about my weight loss and talking a little bit more about kind of what I eat in a day. So I've done like a video about kind of how I've lost the weight, etc. And a lot of people have asked if I'm on a weight loss medication, and the answer is no, I'm not. I don't think that, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I've never looked into it. I did Google it and kind of see what it was about because there was this huge thing all over the media about celebrities using it. It was this miracle drug and blah, blah, blah. I just looked at it to see what it was about. Okay, first of all, the price. Excuse me? £200? I can't afford that. Like £200 every single month. I mean, it's just, yeah, I'm not quite there yet when it comes to financially being able to afford that. I've got, just to put it out there though, I've got absolutely no issue with people who do use it. I think if it's something that's going to help you and it's going to help you get healthier and, you know, prevent the risk of getting things like diabetes. I know that also people are using it to suppress the symptoms of things like PCOS and endometriosis, which I think somebody had mentioned that on my last video when I was talking about my symptoms. I think, first of all, if I was on it, I would be a little bit disappointed at how slow the results have been because I've actually lost this weight over a long time. I just didn't talk about it or address it. It's probably taken me about 2.5 years to get 4.5 stone down, which I think is like, that is a normal, healthy weight loss amount of time, I would say. But because we've been so dragged into this toxic diet culture where people are losing like 2 stone in like 6 weeks and stuff, seeing somebody lose weight over a long period of time and it not being this staggering amount in a short space of time, I think some people, I don't know, it just doesn't go, it's just not as, people don't notice it. Do you know what I mean? I think if I was using and spending that amount of money on a weight loss injection, I'd be quite disappointed of how long it would take me to lose this weight. And second of all, if it's supposed to suppress the symptoms of PCOS and I was taking it, then it is severely failing because we all know that I've had the most horrendous time with my cramping and periods and symptoms and stuff. So yeah, I'm not on weight loss medication. If you are on it, go for it. I really hope that you get the results that you want, and I think it's just important that people are also repairing their kind of relationship with food, because if you're binging and stuff and then I don't really know the process, but if you then stop taking the medication and then just go back to your old eating habits, then it's just not going to work. The same as any other diet. Yeah, no, I'm not on weight loss medication. Don't plan on taking it. Don't think I would. I think even if I could afford it, I don't think I could mentally cope with it either. I don't think it's right for me kind of psychologically when it comes to my relationship with food and diet and exercise and things. So yeah, it's just not for me. But yeah, that was the last one, and I'm about to run out of storage space on my card. So I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that has cleared up some things for you, and if you're curious about anything else, then just pop it in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. Baby, let me love you, let me love you.